Hey y'all, it's Alexis from Ask Alexis here, and I have an interesting transformational Tuesday message. And this one is for the fathers of daughters out there. Um, so I am obviously a daughter and I have a father, and I had to pick my father up from the auto parts store and or the auto like the repair place, and I picked him up, and there was a situation where there was a car driving this way and there was a car in front of me, and I'm like, oh, they can't possibly stop there. And my dad says, well, that's a woman, they might not know. And I said, well, that's a sexist statement. And he went on to backpedal and like try to like claim how it didn't have anything to do with her gender and that or her sex. And I didn't bother getting into the discussion with him because my dad is 70 something, and frankly I've healed my relationship with him, so his thoughts finna die. Well, not finna, but hopefully he lives a long, happy life. But when he does, I mean, death is the end for all of us. But I had to do a whole lot of healing myself, and one of the ways I had to heal was from being a pick me. And what I realized in that moment is all those little messages like that are part of the reason that I was from my father. Because it was my father that taught me a woman's value was how she could be good to a man. I mean, even one time, like completely unsolicited, my dad was like, I can't remember what I asked him, but it was something that to me just seemed like a normal question, but it exposed how he didn't know something. And he was like, you way too smart. How am I gonna marry you off? Hey, what? That was an argument. But it was all those examples that I didn't get though. It wasn't just the stuff that he said. It was the way that I didn't get to see him valuing women, and I got to see the failed relationships, and my mama was a part of this. Remember, that's a man she chose. So it wasn't, and that left me for this longing to be loved, right? This longing to feel connected to my father where there's no reason for a sexual connection. So really, men who are like that often don't know how to value women separate from that. And it wasn't until I did my own healing, and I've done a whole lot of work, been an intense healing for the last few years. Now it's not as intense now because I've been working at it for the last few years, but it is a part of the journey. And so this message is for fathers of daughters. Transform your heart around the value of women, because it's not just the words you say, it's the actions you display. Transform your language around the value of women, because that language tells on you. And little comments like, well, she might not know because she's a woman. The little girl in me heard that differently than the grown woman in me, who's like way more capable than the guy who said that. But also transform the way you treat the women that they see. Whether, I'm not saying it's got to be their mama, I'm not saying it's got to be your mama, but let your daughter see you value women for more than just what they can bring to you sexually or how they can tend to the needs of your care. Let your daughter see you value women as whole people, as partners, as thinkers, as co-creators of a life they want to have. Let your daughters see you value women the way you want your daughters to be valued. Because the actions you take and the words you say are really the lessons of where she's going to learn it, not the lectures you give or the discipline you enforce or the purity in which you try to keep your daughter chaste because you don't want her to be involved with men like you. All she's going to look at is men like you and no love from that. And then she's going to pick a whole bunch of guys that's going to do to her what you did to all them women. So teach her how to discern by being the example. Transform yourself if you need to, because it's your kids. You love them. Love your daughters like you want them to be loved, minus the creepy stuff. All right, y'all. That's today's Transformational Tuesday message.